Hey guys, it's Ben Mayer with another episode of Ben Drinkin', and we're back at it again with another mini flight. Like last week with Three Sheeps and my co-manager or manager or boss or I don't know, Matthew. Three Sheeps last week. We're going to do it again this week with the brewery from my home state. And yes, I do go back to Michigan quite a bit for Breers. It's because I know them. It's Founders with the KBS line, and it's a whole line now. Up until this year, I believe, it's been just KBS, which is Kentucky Breakfast Stout. But this year, they've introduced a couple of extra flavors. That's actually what it should be. There's the KBS Espresso, and then there's the KBS Maple Mackinac Fudge. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I tried all three of these things. Not tonight. Tonight I've only enjoyed just one, which is the Maple Mackinac Fudge Stout. Yeah, it's 12% alcohol by volume. All three of them across the board are 12%. So it's a good year, definitely. But the great thing about the KBS, the traditional KBS, is it's a fantastic beer. You want, by the way, that's my dog walking around. If you want some of the best barrel-aged beers you can find, they are buried under the streets of Grand Rapids, Michigan, through Founders Brewing. And this is something that astonishes me. I never even thought of that. It's cave-aged is what it's called. It's not only barrel-aged, but it's cave-aged. It's in a cool, dark space for a year. They're going to age these things in bourbon barrels for a minimum of a year, and then they bottle them up. So, and KBS, so good. The Kentucky Breakfast Stout. I keep wanting to say bourbon because that's what I always thought it was, but it's Kentucky Breakfast Stout from Founders. On many different websites. Let me look it up real quick. On beeradvocate.com is rating 100 out of 100. Ratebeer.com is 100 out of 100. And if not mistaken, I think the lowest rating that I saw it was 96 out of 100. Even beeradvocate.com has it at number 28, not on just like their stouts list. As a matter of fact, I think it's at 12, maybe a little higher than that on their stout list of best of all times. But it's number 28 out of their top 250 beers around the world of all time. I know, buddy, it's exciting. But it's a great beer. If you love dark beers, you're going to love this one. Again, it's a very smooth flavor. It's great on the tongue. Lots of rich flavors. You're going to get the chocolate. You're going to get the coffee. You get a little bit of vanilla in there as well, too. Some caramel, things like that. But you're also going to get that charred oak flavor. And you're going to get so many different flavors mixing around in there that you're just going to go, this is a flavor profile that I've just fallen in love with. And then the best part about it is with the new ones, with the espresso and the maple, you got new flavors added as well too. Maple, obviously they just brewed it with some maple syrup added into it. Here's the cool thing that I didn't know about the espresso flavor though. What they did was they took KBS and then basically cold brewed it like you do with coffee. They just poured that over some espresso beans and let that sit for even longer. So yeah, pretty darn good. Here comes my review part of it though. The maple one, I think actually has the maple smells. There's a little bit of a maple flavor to it as well too. But with espresso, it kind of just tastes like KBS to me, like the traditional one, because traditional KBS is a coffee stout. It's got coffee flavor to it. And then they were like, oh, but we cranked it up. And I go, nah, I mean, it's just got coffee flavor to it to me. So, I don't know, maybe I'm being a little cynical about it, but KBS, the traditional flavor, and then KBS Espresso, to me, I was really excited. I love coffee beers. We've talked about that with Surly Coffee Bender and with some of the other ones as well, too. I've got a couple of coffee beers that I'm planning to do in the near future as well, too. But the KBS Espresso, to me, just kind of fell a little short on the extra coffee flavor. I thought it was going to be a lot of coffee, a lot more of that coffee flavor, but to me it still just tasted a lot like KBS, which is fantastic. I am a big fan of KBS from Founders in general, but the extra oomph that you're supposed to get from the espresso didn't necessarily happen to me. But the maple flavor, I did get the maple smells, and I got a little bit of the maple syrup flavor as well too. So that was pretty exciting, I'm not going to lie. But I'm not going to lie to you. Founders, pretty much across the board, a lot of their stuff is fantastic. They've got their Canadian breakfast stout, which is already kind of built in with some maple flavor in there as well, too. And I'm a big fan of that one. And that one's actually rated higher than KBS on a lot of best of lists as well, too. So that one's a little harder to get, though. So be prepared. If you're going to see it, grab it. All in all, though, I will always pick up KBS in the stores when it comes out. It's only out in the wintertime, December and January. It's a yearly tradition for me and my dad. Whenever we get Christmas beer, we get KBS typically. So, as I told you, if there's a little slurring, that's probably what it is. But but yeah, it's fantastic. It's one of those beers that I will always grab. It's definitely one of the top ones on my list of all times. I like dark beer. I like coffee beers. I like KBS. I like Founders. And I like Michigan beer. I like Minnesota beers too. So just again, I know Michigan beer is a little bit better. But so there you go. That's my my breakdown, the mini flight of traditional KBS, the espresso KBS, and the maple KBS as well too. Hopefully nobody got offended because, like I said, I like them. It's just I think this one fell a little short for me. It's on the same par as the traditional, which isn't that bad. So there you go. Working on next week's episode with some Voodoo Ranger, so look forward to that. This is a 9% by alcohol or 9% alcohol by volume Imperial IPA. Looking forward to that. So that'll be next week's episode right here for Ben Drinkin'. Thanks, guys.